It all adds up to this. 11 games in the rear view, 660 minutes, 41 sacks, 110 TFLs, 4-0 on the road, 2 epic late-season SEC road wins in front of over 200,000, 5 defensive scores, 22 straight field goals, 7 50-yarders, 2 block kicks, 1 surgically repaired thumb, 2 Bowens, a relentless front 7, 25-yard stiff arm, 87-yard pick 6, and an 87-yard Satania sprint. Add it all up. And how many more wins are needed for college football's promised land? There's only one.
Mateer to throw, does across the middle, got Satania on the run, there he goes! Picking him up, putting him down, Isaiah Satania, pay dirt!
Today, LSU. For the first time ever, the Bayou Bengals visit the Palace. Can BV's grimy gang their destiny fulfill by proving one more time they are hard to kill? We're about to find out. It's football time in Oklahoma.
Double coverage, intercepted! Jacoby Johnson, what a play!
It's time for the regular season finale. It's the Oklahoma Sooners and the LSU Tigers. Remember November. Here we go. Live from the Palace on the Prairie. Historic Owen Field in Norman, Oklahoma. This is Sooner football.
Seasons with a passing and rushing touchdown. We take a look at the resumes. You got Oklahoma there. But what did Miami show you today?
Well, Miami's a 10-2 football team, and I think they're one of the better teams in the country. They should be in the playoff based on their resume. I understand it's not as strong in the metrics, but they beat Notre Dame, and they did it well.
31-point victory over Pitt. Notre Dame only beat them by 22. Keep that in mind. We'll be right back.
It's a year after going 6-7. This Oklahoma team, ranked 6th by the College Football Playoff Committee, ranked 8th, is in position not only to make the College Football Playoff, but to host a first-round College Football Playoff game.
Okay, we'll take a little bit more inventory and look at some games of import today. Other teams in the College Football Playoff picture from this weekend. Huge win by Georgia over Georgia Tech. Texas A&M upset by Texas. And, of course, the Iron Bowl after this one a little bit later.
But the SEC still in very good position to get 5 teams into the College Football Playoff with 5 teams in the top 10, including this Oklahoma team.
And welcome, everyone, to the All-State Kickoff. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quint Kesnick down in the field. Glad you decided to tap in. Let's take a little bit more inventory because there's a lot to talk about. In the big picture, panoramic view, the coaching carousel continues to spin towards LSU. Our ESPN insider, Pete Thamel, says that Lane Kiffin is the favorite to become the LSU head coach and that the school is optimistic about being able to sign him. Roddy, what does that mean for LSU on the field today?
Well, it means they've got an incredible opportunity on the field and off the field today. On the field, you can go on the road and beat a top 10 team and ruin the college football playoff hopes of the Oklahoma Sooners. And off the field, you have a potential to steal the head coach of a top 10 conference rival. And by the end of the day, maybe by the end of the weekend, Lane Kiffin could be the head coach of the LSU Tigers, which would be a monumental shift.
Weaken one of your rivals in the process. I like that angle. Let's take a look at how we landed here in the first place. LSU started off in the top 10, a prominent team, one of the favorites to win it all. Started off 5-0, then lost 3 of the next 4, dismissing Brian Kelly as their head coach, as well as the athletic director, Scott Woodard. Then they focused their sights on Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss as their next head coach. Roddy, we're still waiting for the smoke to come out of the coaching Vatican to see if anything happens on that front. But when you take a panoramic view, what does it mean moving forward for LSU?
Well, it means LSU is all in. 3 of the last 4 head coaches for this LSU program have won national championships. So the standard is the standard, and they have shot high with Lane Kiffin. I don't know what the plan B is if Lane Kiffin does indeed decide to stay at Ole Miss, but it's very emotional a decision for Lane Kiffin. He has to decide, and Ole Miss has to decide, if he takes the LSU job, will he coach this Ole Miss team through the college football playoff? A lot on the line today.
Yeah, a lot of emotion swirling from all sides of the equation as we go down to Q.
Thanks, Mark. Frank Wilson is the interim coach of LSU, and he has been charged with steering this program through what has been a turbulent month. One thing he's relying on today is he's told his players, we want to finish this thing the right way. And this coaching staff told us they're asking the players to put their best on tape, to put their resume on tape, whether that be for the NFL, whether that be for the next coach at LSU, or whether that be for the portal. So the Tigers looking to finish strong and put that work today, Mark, on tape against Oklahoma.
Well, folks, if you like defense, today is your cup of tea as we take a look at the All-State Spotlight, and it focuses on the two defenses. LSU, one of the top defenses in the SEC, number 6 overall, and Oklahoma leads the nation in a couple of categories.
And both offensive lines for these teams have some shuffling due to injuries, so defense is going to be the story of the day. If you love good defense, hard-hitting, aggressive, pressuring defense, this is your game today.
Feels like it's going to be a low-scoring contest. We're going to take a short break and head back to the studio with Kevin and a guy that has some feelings on LSU, Booger McFarland.
Mark, thank you. We'll get to Booger's thoughts in a moment when we talk about LSU game here, and we take you inside the stadium in Norman. Oklahoma, when they face this LSU team that has struggled scoring, what's the key for the Sooners?
Well, the key for the Sooners, they got to continue to get after the passer. Oklahoma's defense is one of the best pass rushing defenses in America. LSU's offense hasn't scored 25 points or more against a Power 4 opponent this season, so can the Oklahoma defense continue to dominate this LSU offense?
For LSU, you got to score points, and potentially you may be getting that offensive genius in Lane Kiffin. We'll find out, of course, down the road as decision day is looming for Lane Kiffin in the next.
A win begets triumph, relief, and belief. Effort found sooner than later.
You are what you believe you are. You got us a hell of a football team.
Staring down doubters and the odd hater. Echoes from the past fill the lobby. Once winning trophies like they were a hobby.
The champions of the 67th FedEx Orange Bowl.
As we give thanks to Crimson and Cream, only one thought will remain. A berth in the CFP amidst a hard-fought game. So many great names through the years. The Selman brothers, Gerald McCoy, Tommy Harris have played here at Oklahoma. And during the last 3 weeks, boy, what a November to remember. Defeating top 25 teams, doing it by hanging their hats collectively at the defensive end of the field. LSU ready to play for the first time here in Norman, Oklahoma, against the Sooners. So much on the line for Oklahoma. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones back again. Roddy, this Sooner defense has been impervious for the last couple of months.
They certainly have. Brent Venables, before the season, made the decision to take over defensive play calling, and it has changed the way that this Oklahoma team has operated. They've got an excellent defensive line that gets you in third and long situations, and then when they get you in third down, their pressure packages are elite. 6 guys around the line of scrimmage, and even though they're going to drop the 2 ends, the blitzing nickel from the secondary ends up getting on the running back, and despite picking it up pretty well, Davon Jordan runs through the running back and is able to bring down Ty Simpson. But even when they have 6 around the line of scrimmage, doesn't always mean they're bringing 6. They drop 2 to the field, and Alabama ends up with 3 offensive linemen trying to block 1 defensive tackle. It ends up with a free rusher for Oklahoma up the middle. An errant throw by Ty Simpson ends up in the arms of Eli Bowen, who takes it for a pick 6. Mark, this is a Oklahoma defense that has scored touchdowns in 2 of the last 3 games, and Brent Venables' aggressive nature has really defined this season.
Holding Missouri to just 6 points in their win last week. Hey, folks, you're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King on an irradiant Saturday afternoon here in late November. Let's go downstairs to Quinn Kessenich for more. Quinn?
Almost 4 years to the day, Brent Venables was hired as the head coach here at Oklahoma, and he made a promise. He made a promise to the fans. He made a promise to the program. He said, we're going to have an elite defense, a defense defined by physicality, a defense refined by relentlessness, by a punishing attitude, and by a defense that is suffocating. Well, he's delivered on that promise. We're going to track those 4 pillars of this Sooner defense today during this game. Keep your eye on them. They'll show up. This is a group that can get after quarterbacks. They've been forcing turnovers, and they have become the identity of their head coach, a hard-nosed, blue-collar, defensive-minded team.
Spitting image of their head coach, first in the country in sacks per game as well. Well, Frank Wilson is the interim head coach on a 2-game win streak for LSU. Former head coach at a couple of other schools and taking over, and he has done a wonderful job, as Quint pointed out a little bit earlier, of being able to insulate his players from some of the outside noise and static. Trying to get his offense in gear today against one of the top defenses in the country. Oklahoma won the toss, deferring to the second half. LSU will have the football to start this game. Leather, and we're underway. Parker and Brown back deep for the Tigers. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. That's where quarterback Michael Van Buren will take the reins of this Tiger offense. He's making his 3rd consecutive start. Last week was 25 of 42 in that 13-10 victory against Western Kentucky. Took over for the injured Garrett Nussmeier several weeks ago. There's a look at the numbers the last 2 games for Van Buren. 6 foot, 190, very good mobility. And a guy very familiar with Oklahoma, and Oklahoma with him, because when he went into the transfer portal, the Sooners were one of his pursuers. On 1st and 10, they're going to run it to Harlem Berry, who picks up about 3 yards, which is right around their average. Let's take a look at our impact players built by the Home Depot.
Well, for LSU offensively, it's the tight end, Trey'Dez Green, who at 6'7" is a matchup nightmare, particularly when you get inside that 30, 25-yard line and approach the end zone. And defensively for Oklahoma, Taylor Wine, who has been one of the biggest improvers over the course of the season for this Oklahoma defense. 14 tackles for loss, 6 sacks on the season for the big defensive end.
On 2nd and 7, they hand it off again to Berry. Nowhere to go. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Grayson Halton finally made the tackle. It sets up a 3rd down and about 7 to go for LSU. Who hasn't passed the ball well this year at all either.
Grayson Halton was phenomenal a week ago. And you look at how good this Oklahoma defense is at stopping teams at the line of scrimmage or behind. That's how they get you into these 3rd and long situations. And in these situations, the offense has to dissect, has to decipher who around the line of scrimmage is blitzing and who's not.
Gets it out quick, complete to the edge. That's Brown. And Brown is brought down right near the line of scrimmage by Peyton Brown defensively, and it'll be 4th down. A quick 3 and out for that Sooner defense.
You could see LSU with the conservative play call on 3rd down. Not only is that because of the aggressive nature and how proficient Oklahoma is at rushing the passer, it's also very windy out on the field, and LSU was going into the wind, now punting into the wind. I mean, these winds are going to play a big part both in the passing game and the kicking game today.
Yeah, there's a look at the flags. Chadwick punting into that stiff breeze. A low line drive knocked down by the wind. Satania back there tried to field it. Appeared as if the ball came loose. It might have hit somebody in the process. Isaiah Satania, the punt returner for OU, and it's recovered by the Sooners. Jaden Hardy.
Yeah,
one more look here.
It looks like it hits Jacoby Johnson, number 19 for Oklahoma. It's very, very wise by Isaiah Satania trying to jump on it. Oklahoma fortunate, but you could see how that punt, not only was it off the side of the foot of the punter, but once it got up in the air, it absolutely died because it was going into that strong wind.
1st and 10 for John Mateer. A year ago, he led the nation in touchdown passes with 44 at Washington State. Going to hand it off on 1st down to Xavier Robinson. Nowhere to go for Robinson. He might even lose a yard or two. Q, what's the weather like down there? I think I see Dorothy and Toto blowing by in the wind.
Yeah, you sang the song from Oklahoma. The temperature's in the low 50s, but the key storyline, the wind is whipping about 20 miles an hour left to right across this field. It comes into the stadium on the left side, drops down low, and then swoops around in that right end zone. And it's going to be a main storyline in terms of special teams, Mark, and then the throwing game. Mateer's with the wind on this drive.
We'll keep an eye on that. They go empty formation. He completes his first pass to Burks. Deion Burks making the catch, picking up about 6 on the play. Jack Pyburn making the tackle.
LSU had a little bit of a stunt up front. It's a good pickup by an Oklahoma offensive line that's missing its starting center, Jake Michaela.
Weewu moves over to the starting center spot, and Mateer had it picked off. It's deflected, tipped off, and it's coming back the other way. Perkins all the way inside the 10 to the 5. Harold Perkins, one of their best players defensively, with another huge play. That's his 3rd interception of the season. That was definitely deflected.
It certainly was, and it's deflected by Patrick Payton, who starts up the field and then goes inside and is able to get a hand up in the air and bat that thing to Harold Perkins, the outside linebacker nickel, who ends up picking it off and taking it inside the 10-yard line. We knew this was going to be a defensive ball game. We knew that the defenses were going to have to make plays. It's how Oklahoma has made its living over the last month, but LSU with the first massive play defensively in this game.
1st and goal. From just inside the 5-yard line. Roddy, you talked about Trey'Dez Green, that tall target at 6'7", number 14. Van Buren in the end zone, and it's picked off. They took it right back. Peyton Bowen. Back-to-back INTs, and the Sooners dodge one with LSU threatening.
So Peyton Bowen's going to be right there with his eyes just on the quarterback, and as Michael Van Buren rolls out, he just mirrors the quarterback, sinks into the end zone, and makes one of the best catches that you will see today.
Some early pyrotechnics, fireworks in the early going here. 7 plays, 2 interceptions. And in the residual, we've got 1st and 10 Sooners. Here's a look at how both of them happened.
This is the first one. Patrick Payton bats the ball in the air. Harold Perkins ends up rolling. The coaching point there, I think, is cut back on the quarterback, try and get that thing in the end zone. And then the next play, Michael Van Buren rolls out, tries to get it over the hands of Peyton Bowen, and isn't able to do it.
Mateer hands it off to his tailback, Tory Blaylock. Brought down by West Weeks. Nice gain on the play of 7 by Blaylock, the 5'11" freshman. Up at the line of scrimmage quickly. They'll run it again. Nowhere to go that time for Blaylock. Stuffed up by a couple of tacklers led by Butler. It'll be 3rd down. Sooners going tempo here.
And these are the situations that both teams are going to want to avoid. Neither has run the ball particularly well this year, but with the wind, the throw game is going to be tough to consistently execute. So if you're LSU, the thing that you can't let happen on this play is let John Mateer get outside with his legs and convert the 1st down on the ground.
3rd and 6 for the Sooners. Satania, their home run hitter in motion. He floats over the middle. Satania makes the catch and is brought down. No, it's incomplete. He was the target. He's the one that broke the long one last week against Missouri. But it's a quick 3 and out for the Sooners.
feels like it's one of those games where it's going to have to be big plays for Brent Venables and his squad, and for this LSU team. LSU is going to be kicking themselves for the interception after their interception down in the end zone. But special teams field position going to play a big part today.
Xavier Thomas back deep. Grayson Miller averaging almost 47 yards per punt. With the wind at his back. Chance to return it for Thomas on the reverse. They set up a reverse. And he's brought down at the 31. That's Berrien Brown. So after that 52-yard punt, it'll be 1st and 10 from there. Hey, coming up next on ABC, we cap the night with the 90th Iron Bowl. The Tide look to cement their playoff hopes. It's available also on the ESPN app. At 7:30.
Alabama can punch its ticket to the SEC championship game with a win where they would face Georgia because of the Texas A&M loss yesterday. If Alabama loses tonight, Ole Miss goes to the SEC championship game, and the Lane Kiffin saga continues next week, potentially as well.
We got some drama, folks. 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. Van Buren delivers a strike right around the 35 to Berrien Brown. 4-yard gain on the play.
Hey, Mark, this is the play, the Van Buren interception. So he ends up rolling out, and I want you to watch the distance between him and Peyton Bowen here on the outside. So as he rolls out, Peyton Bowen, the eventual interceptor, is kind of sprinting towards the edge. I think Michael Van Buren, if he just takes off, it's a foot race to the pylon. He might score. If not, he's going to be inside the 5-yard line with an opportunity to keep playing.
He's pretty dynamic when he runs the football. Tigers run the football. And that was Van Buren keeping it himself. Just under 10 minutes to play in the opening quarter. We've already seen a couple of interceptions. 2-yard gain on the play by Van Buren, and they're up to the line of scrimmage quickly. 3rd and 3. And that's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Kip Lewis. And 4th down coming up for LSU.
Moving on the field, it's an incomplete pass. 4th down.
They actually had Oklahoma in a little bit of a tough spot because 3 guys were in the same spot, but Kip Lewis ends up blitzing, sees the quarterback starting to throw the ball, jumps in the air and bats it down. And I like the tempo from LSU on 3rd and short, but if you're going to have Oklahoma confused and moving around, just run the football.
Satania back for this punt from Chadwick. And he calls a fair catch at the 26-yard line. 37-yard punt, nothing on the return. A big Saturday in college football. LSU waiting to figure out whether there's going to be a little bit of that smoke coming out of the college football coach.
SEC on ABC College Football is presented by Burger King. You rule. And in part by T-Mobile. If you didn't know T-Mobile has home internet, you do now.
Part of the scene outside Memorial Stadium here at Norman, Oklahoma. And now that we've all come out of our turkey-induced tryptophan comas, we get some drumsticks, right? Some chicken?
You come out of your coma? I'm still kind of in mine. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
1st down and 10 for the Sooners, looking to eat here. John Mateer at quarterback. And they're going to blow this one dead. Mentioned some of the changes OU's had on the offensive line.
Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
We got the freshman, Michael Fasusi, who is a massive recruit. And he's done a nice job, albeit made some freshman mistakes. How about this? 100% chance for 4 teams to make the CFP now, according to the All-State Playoff Predictor.
That's technically a certainty, a done deal.
Yeah. I mean, what if their quarterback gets hurt?
They're going to hand it off this time to Xavier Robinson. Picks up about 3 yards on the play. What a big November that it's been for Oklahoma. Talked about the fact that they have been indomitable, especially at the defensive end, defeating Tennessee at Tennessee, Alabama at Alabama and winning last week against Missouri, another ranked team. And Brent Venables has documented, has really reimagined this team in his own defensive-minded image. Everything that they want is right in front of them today. They keep it on the ground with Robinson. Butler makes the tackle.
The thing that they have not done particularly well offensively this year is run the football. And on a day like today, where you want to try and stay out of these 3rd and 11 situations, these 3rd and longs, finding creative ways to run the football and easy passes either at or just in front of the line of scrimmage that can almost operate as a supplement to your run game are going to be crucial. But on 3rd downs, it's about picking up the pressure that this LSU defense may bring.
On 3rd and 11. Satania in motion across the defense over the middle. It's caught out near midfield. Gibson with the grab and the first down. The biggest play of the ball game so far for the Sooners. A pickup of 27. Giovanni Gibson. Sooners up at the line of scrimmage. They get it out quickly to Burks. And Burks makes it across the 45. Brought down by West Weeks. 3-yard pickup, 2nd down and 7.
And that's the supplement to the run game that OU has to use. Those little now screens out on the perimeter, high percentage passes, but operate by getting the ball in the perimeter quick. It kind of supplements the outside part of the run game without actually handing the ball off to the running back.
Tier hands it off again to Robinson again. Picks up a yard. Pyburn makes the stop.
This was that 3rd down. There's Giovanni Gibson. And the thing that John Mateer sees is the safety, A.J. Halsey, vacate the middle of the field. It opens perfectly for Giovanni Gibson to convert that 3rd and long. Nice blocking up front by the offensive line that's been shuffled. And here they are faced with another 3rd down.
Ben Arbuckle looking to press the right button for Oklahoma, their offensive coordinator. He was with Mateer at Washington State. Mateer almost intercepted, broken up by Halsey. And there's a flag down on the play as well.
Offside. Defense, number 90, in the neutral zone at the time of the snap. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Jacoby and Guillory offsides.
And Mark, I understand what John Mateer saw there. I mean, Jaron Koenig was wide open initially up the middle. I would have loved to have seen him take a shot to the outside, especially when you got a free play. Let one of your receivers, the possibility of them going up and making a play or even a pass interference would get you more yardage than just the 5 that they got off the penalty.
1st and 10. They're going to blow this one dead again. Flag down at the 35.
Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Aaron Koenig, tight end offsides. So they'll move the ball back to the 42-yard line. Oklahoma 3-1 all time against LSU. Pardon me, 1-3 all time. It's LSU's first time playing here at Memorial Stadium. Mateer with a clean pocket, delivers a strike down to the 32-yard line, caught by Koenig, who atones for that mistake a moment ago. 10-yard gain on the play.
Jaron Koenig is a great story, a guy who was on the defensive side of the ball for Oklahoma until the preseason, or until after last season. Went to Brent Venables, said, hey, give me a chance on the offensive side of the ball. Has done a really nice job for Oklahoma at that tight end spot, a spot where they really needed help. They're very thin coming into the year.
Sooners go empty. Mateer gets rid of it quickly. Satania with a catch at the 27. Halsey making the tackle immediately. They're going to give him forward progress for a first down at the 26 on the 6-yard gain. Sooners finding a little bit of rhythm now, Roddy.
They are, and they're doing it with an offensive line that, as we mentioned, is a little shaken up. You've got Jake Michler, the starting center, out today due to an illness. So Fabechi Wiwu slides from that right guard position to center. Ryan Froje, who started the last 4 games at right tackle, goes to right guard, more of a natural guard body anyway. Derek Simmons, who started 6 games at tackle earlier this year, is at right tackle.
Mateer incomplete at the 20-yard line, intended for Gibson, who made a catch a little bit earlier. DJ Pickett is the guy defending on the play, and he's somebody, number 3 for LSU. You want to be careful throwing the ball on his block because he's got a bunch of big plays that he's made this year, including an interception last week.
A cornerback at 6'5". Yes, let me say that again. A cornerback at 6'5" was a top 10 recruit in the country, number 1 corner coming out of high school, and he's performed at a really high level. That's what I expect this LSU team to do. Go man-to-man and challenge these receivers.
They keep it between the tackles on the ground with Tory Blaylock powering ahead to about the 21-yard line. Halsey and Perkins making the tackle for the Tigers on the play. Setting up a 3rd down and 5.
We've seen John Mateer make some plays. If you get a look at the last play, we've seen John Mateer make some plays on 3rd downs against zone coverage. I'd expect LSU to lock up man-to-man. You've got Mansour Delane on one side, the best corner in the country. DJ Pickett, who we just talked about, on the other. I think you challenge these receivers to get open against man-to-man.
They've got to get to the 16-yard line for the 1st down. Mateer, incomplete, high. First tight end, Cannick. Halsey in on coverage, and 4th down coming up for the Sooners. And in comes the field goal unit. Had an opportunity, Roddy.
They did, but LSU brings a blitz. They're going to bring 3 linebackers, and then A.J. Halsey is going to be man-to-man against Jaron Cannick. And LSU said, all right, enough of that zone stuff. We are going to make you get open against our excellent secondary. And they're able to get a stop on 3rd down. Now we see Tate Sandell, the best kicker in the country.
Missed his first field goal attempt of the season and looking for his 23rd straight since. Like I said, looking for his 23rd straight. Got it. Sooners on the board first. A win today, and they're pretty much in the college football playoff. Back after this. Got our own Survivor Series going on here today. Oklahoma with big stakes on the line, taking on LSU for the 5th time all-time. Sooners leading 3-0 after that field goal a moment ago. Berry and Brown back deep for this kick alongside Kyle Parker. And they'll take it 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line.
Well, Brent Venables' development has come a long way. Remember at Clemson when he had the get-back coach? Now he's the get-back coach. And talk about personal growth. It's part of our journey. Brent Venables certainly experiencing that. In all seriousness, his defense and him taking over that defense has been a game changer. He's one of the best defensive minds in the country. And in a year and in an era where coaches are often criticized for calling plays, we've seen 2 examples. Brent Venables here at Oklahoma, Mike Elko being much more involved in the defense down at Texas A&M, coaches betting on themselves and calling their own plays, and it paying off in a big way.
You think it starts a trend going that way again?
I do not.
Okay. Okay.
But maybe. You never know. Trendsetters.
Well, Venables done a great job, as you just said. Van Buren gets it out quickly, incomplete for Berry and Brown. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Van Buren completing 64% of his passes on the season. This is his 3rd start. But look at Oklahoma's defense with respect to turnovers, especially the last 8 games. You talk about a snapshot of opportunistic and being able to capitalize on a lot of those turnovers as well. 1st in the country in sacks per game, yards carried allowed per game, and 6th in points allowed per game. Van Buren in trouble. Overshoots his receiver. There were as many red jerseys there as there were LSU jerseys. Line there pressuring the quarterback, Van Buren. And quickly it's 3rd down and 10.
This has all been set up by that first down play where Michael Van Buren was inaccurate on the throw. That should be an easy pitch and catch to get you positive yards. Incompletion on 2nd and 10 gets you into a 3rd and 10 situation. And let's see if Brent Venables decides to dial it up. A lot of bodies around the line of scrimmage.
Van Buren gets it out. Low, though. Incomplete, intended for Kyle Parker. And in comes the punt unit again for the Tigers.
A frustrating possession for LSU. 3 straight passes, 2 of them with open receivers, and just inaccuracy from Michael Van Buren. And you got set up in perfect position inside the 10-yard line. Earlier in the game, Van Buren with an inaccurate throw, throws it right to Peyton Bowen. A turnover immediately after you get inside the 10. And then here, 1st down and 3rd down, you have opportunities for completions, and he's not able to hit the receiver.
Here's a punt from Chadwick. Satania back at his own 31, calls for the fair catch. 1st and 10 from there. Hey, there's the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section. Only one student section can claim the title as Live Más Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy this year?
Some real dedication to be out here with gusting winds up to 35, 40 miles an hour and have no shirt on.
Facts. Big facts. I mean, yeah, this is a Palmer's cocoa butter type of day, partner. You know what I mean? I mean, that and a little chapstick. It is windy.
Matter of fact, if you have either, can you pass it over here? I am in dire need.
3-0. Blaylock in the backfield on 1st and 10. Helms in motion. On the play fake, the pass complete out to the 35-yard line. That's Gibson making the catch. He was working against DJ Pickett. Pickup is 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Good tough catch by Giovanni Gibson. Already with a couple of catches in this game. This might just come down to running the football and who can complete these short passes consistently. So far, Oklahoma's hit a much higher percentage than LSU has.
Satania in motion. Split to the bottom of your screen. Satania on the little receiver screen. Got out to the 40-yard line, close to that 1st down. Let's see where the forward progress is going to be marked. It'll be enough for 1st down on the 5-yard pickup. Satania is their guy that takes the top off the defense.
Yeah, excellent catch and run, guys. Hit 21 miles an hour on the GPS this season. One of the fastest receivers in the SEC, and rightfully so, with the history that his parents have on the track and field side of things.
Incredible lineage. Here he is again, trying to get to the edge, but brought down at the 39 by Patrick Payton. As we take a look at the All-State playoff predictor. Oklahoma's chances of making it to the college football playoff with a win, it's pretty much a lock. With a loss, it falls to 41%. You agree with those numbers?
I think with a loss, it's probably a little high. But with a win, I mean, it becomes about whether or not they host, and that'll be determined by the SEC championship game.
Downfield, Satania, the intended receiver, incomplete. Texas with an upset last night at home against Texas A&M. How much chaos does that cause, do you think?
We will see on Tuesday, because Texas has a resume with wins over number 3 Texas A&M and also this Oklahoma team who sits here at number 8. But 3 losses. One of those losses, though, was at Ohio State, and it feels like Texas is not getting enough credit for scheduling that game, deciding to go and play Ohio State.
You're going into dangerous territory there.
We'll talk about that one a lot.
Mateer going to take off and tiptoes out of bounds right around midfield. Harold Perkins there to push him out of bounds. They're going to spot it at the 49-yard line. Picked up 10 on the play.
That was a pretty half-hearted effort on the tackle by Harold Perkins. Looked like he was trying to punch the ball out more than tackle the quarterback. I mean, John Mateer is well in bounds, and he had a chance to drive Mateer out probably 3 yards further back than Mateer actually ended up, setting up a 4th and short.
They're going to keep the offense on the field. They're 7 of 12 on the season on 4th down conversions. Going to hand it off and nowhere to go. They're going to be stopped. Robinson stopped up behind the line of scrimmage. And the defense for the Tigers comes up huge. Bernard Gooden was the first one to make contact.
Bernard Gooden is right in the middle, and his ability to knife between two offensive linemen causes this. Gets in the backfield, wraps up Xavier Robinson, and stops him short. What a play by this LSU defense on the scramble by Mateer. He could have been stopped a little bit shorter, as I said, but the big fourth down play sets up this LSU offense in good field position.
Tiger passing game has been shaky. See the numbers, just 5 yards on the jet sweep. Nowhere to go for Thomas. Couldn't turn the corner. And there's a flag down in the play as well. Waiting for the call here. The officials conferring right around midfield.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Oh, that's a big help for LSU.
Certainly is.
Take a look at what happened here.
It's out there on the perimeter. It looked like it
was to the.
You can see that the arm of Kendall Daniels is up in the face of the LSU offensive blocker. But I like the play call by LSU. The strength of this Oklahoma team is that defensive line, that defensive front, and particularly stopping the run with those defensive tackles. Attacking them on the perimeter with perimeter runs either outside or on the edge of the box. That's where teams have had the most success this season. Not that anybody's had great success consistently.
1st and 10, courtesy of the penalty. Official's going to have another conversation here.
False start. Offense. Number 10. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's been that type of season for LSU. 7-4 coming in, but by their lofty standards, a model of underachievement. Frank Wilson taking over several weeks ago from Brian Kelly. 1st and 15 as a result of that penalty. Caden Dern in the backfield. On the double pass, downfield, got a man at the 20. It's caught by Sharp. And a first down. Xavier Thomas, they hung up there a little bit, partner, but hey, it got there in the end.
Yes, it did. But there's the receiver, and he's just going to go up the field for the pass. Get Bauer Sharp thinking like he's going to block, and then takes off. And Xavier Thomas, look, you don't get style points on completed passes down the field, but a nice call by Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator.
Durham in the backfield. Van Buren downfield, incomplete, overshoots his intended receiver, Watkins. No flag on the play, and now there is one thrown. Van Buren took a hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 34. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Hey, Matt Austin, our rules analyst, tell us about what happened here and why that's roughing.
Well, the defender came in and put his full body weight, didn't try to get it off at all. While we don't have technically a body weight rule, you can't punish the quarterback with your full body weight trying to drive him into the ground. So I understand why they called it. I think it's a good call.
You know what, Matt? I agree. Not that it matters. I mean, you're the expert, but you know, I like to defend these defenders sometimes. I think that one a little unnecessary. And it set LSU up. You had two 15-yard penalties on this drive. Set LSU up with the trick play and great field position.
They're going to keep it on the ground on the handoff. Harlem Berry, who's one of their leading rushers on the season. Tackled by Kendall Daniels. Berry, just a freshman out of New Orleans.
Now for LSU, no mistakes. Hold on to the football, no turnovers. A touchdown is certainly a plus, but this is going to be a game that's defined by the defenses and taking advantage of opportunities.
Sharp in motion. And we're going to see the expiration of the first quarter. LSU poised and intent on playing the role of spoiler this afternoon, as Oklahoma tries to lock in a spot in the college football playoff. The Sooners trying to turn the Tigers into little pussycats. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Coach, you said you wanted to finish the right way. What have you seen thus far?
I see us making miscues and mistakes. We had a huge turnover, got the ball at the 4-yard line, gave it right back to them. I think our defense is playing stellar for us. We have an opportunity here. It's imperative that we get points in this drive.
You emphasized communication to keep this ship together. What do you mean by that?
Us being on the same page, one voice, solidarity, that we're on one mission. That's to play this game together as a team, to play like LSU Fighting Tigers.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Start of the second quarter from the 11-yard line. LSU football on the handoff. Johnson nowhere to go. And brought down for a loss of about 2 on the play by Heineke.
Look for a second.
He was trying to throw? That's what I thought.
Like Jawan Johnson was trying to throw the ball down the field. Had a couple of receivers that were well covered, so wise for him not to throw it downfield. At 3rd and long, LSU needs to be focused on taking care of the football. You're down 3. You've got an excellent kicker in Damian Ramos. Take care of the ball and end this with a kick through the uprights.
Harlem Berry in the backfield.
Timeout. LSU.
Tigers will burn one of their timeouts.
30 seconds in lead.
They'll have 2 remaining. Look at the numbers last week. Wow.
Last week against Western Kentucky, it was tough. 9 penalties for 79 yards. Really tough day on 3rd downs. 3 of 15, including 1 of 6 on 3rd and 1 to 4 yards. Short yardage was troublesome for LSU. They were disjointed offensively. There was a long stretch during that game where they didn't hand the ball to a running back against one of the worst rush defenses in the country in Western Kentucky. But
Hilltoppers had a late interception, made it really close at the end.
A late fumble return for a touchdown. Yeah, it did make it very close. That score ended up being 13-10. It was 13-3 for most of the 4th quarter, and then they made it very interesting.
See what LSU does here. Coming out of the timeout, ball at the 13-yard line, 3rd down and goal. With the change of quarter, they've got the wind at their back now. Berry in the backfield. Van Buren hands it off to Harlem Berry, who plows ahead down to the 7-yard line. It'll be 4th and goal.
I think that's a smart play call by Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator. Just run the football, set yourself up for a chip shot field goal, although with the win today, nothing is exactly a gimme. Yeah. But LSU kicking into the win with a guy who's made a school record 67 field goals in his career.
Well, we got 2 of the best place kickers in all of college football on display here today. Ramos will attempt this one from 24 yards out. And Ramos knocks it through. Now 23 of 27 on the season, knotting the game at 3 apiece. Let's take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate, in a game that has already featured a couple of interceptions.
There haven't been a lot of explosive plays offensively, but this was right after an LSU interception gets him inside the 5-yard line. Peyton Bowen just skies in the air. That's a heck of a rollout. It is a heck of a catch. I mean, it's a really nice reaction to get up off the ground. Athleticism, hands to snag it. Brent Venables told us that he's actually surprised Peyton Bowen didn't have more interceptions this year and over the course of his career, because he said he thought 13 to 15 his senior year of high school there at Geyer High School in Texas.
Wow.
He is a ball magnet. Guy who's blocked a field goal last week, has blocked punts in his career. He's been an excellent player for Brent Venables since his freshman season.
And his brother Eli, number 23, playing in the secondary as well. Another boisterous crowd on hand here at Memorial Stadium. Oklahoma with a win today, according to our CFP calculator, would have a 99% chance of making it. And Mateer will get the football first down and 10 from his own 25-yard line. You're watching the SEC, folks, on ABC, presented by Burger King. This is the last Saturday in November. Whitey, we were talking about how tough it is to turn things around, and Coach Venables has really reimagined and kind of made this team look a lot different, coming off back-to-back 6-win seasons. We'll talk about that in just a bit. First down and 10 for the Sooners. Satania in motion. Mateer wide open at the 25. Hit Gibson, but am I wrong? If that's a better throw, he's still running.
He might hit his head on the goalpost. It's a foot race to the end zone. There's a couple of LSU defenders back there, but I mean, this ball it's actually a pretty good target. Giovanni Gibson just doesn't stay on his feet. And if he does, it's a chunk play. It's an explosive.
Second and 1. Mateer gets it out off the RPO and hit immediately as soon as making the catch by Deshaun Spears was Satania.
That was a really nice play by Deshaun Spears, just defeating the block at the point of attack and being able to tackle the running back or the receiver in the backfield. This is John Mateer throwing the ball downfield. This has been a part of their game that hasn't really been there since those first 3 games. 1-7 since coming back from that thumb injury in the Auburn game. Came back against Texas. 1 for 18. That's 5.7% completion percentage down the field.
What about the health and fitness of that surgically repaired hand? Gets it out incomplete. Intended to Helms, and it'll be 4th down. Made that a tough catch, maybe a little bit tougher than it had to be.
I mean, Helms comes across the field, and if this is a catch, this is another one where there is an eternity to run. I mean, there is nobody back there other than the corner with a blocker downfield. It's an explosive play waiting to happen. Something that Oklahoma, again, has struggled to create consistently. That time, Ben Arbuckle dialed up a couple of them with the ability to create chunk plays and explosive, and Oklahoma just not able to execute.
Grayson Miller punting into the wind. The wind really knocked that down, but it carries all the way down to the 23-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 from there for the Tigers after that 44-yard punt. Not a lot of offense, we know. Back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Norman, Oklahoma. And one of the greats on hand, Barry Switzer, the architect of some of those 7 national championships. You talk about one of college football's greatest coaches of all time. Think about those teams: Jamel Holloway, Charles Thompson, J.C. Watts, Marcus Dupree, even though he was here briefly, Brian Bosworth, Keith Jackson. I think they threw like 3 times a year, right? And Keith Jackson came to Oklahoma. Don't know why. They set up the screen, complete to Jawan Johnson. Going to be brought down right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 7 Heismans and 7 national championships.
It's impressive.
That's good football.
That's what makes you a blue blood. This is why Oklahoma expects to be in the college football playoff conversation every single year, and in the college football playoff more often than not. And this is one of the premier brands in the entire country, and Brent Venables finally has them on the precipice of getting them back to where they feel like they deserve to be.
And a very much expected low-scoring contest so far. 3-3, 2nd and 10. Harlem Berry in the backfield. Takes the carry and picks up about 2 yards. Brought down by Omosigo, pardon me.
And now how aggressive will LSU be offensively? Will you chance it with a lot of people around the line of scrimmage for Oklahoma? And look at all these guys mulling around. LSU trying to sort out, where are we going with the protection? Who's coming and who isn't? And Brent Venables usually has a pretty good bead on where the protection's going.
3rd and 8. Van Buren, a strike, and it's caught in a tight window by Brown. Wow, what a grab for 15 yards. That might be his best throw of the afternoon.
It is, and he deciphers a lot going on, so you're going to get 2 droppers there and blitzers from the interior as well. It is a complicated look offensively to deal with that ends up.
On the field, if a completed catch is under video review.
Well, they're going to take another look at this catch to see if it stands or not. Frank Wilson hoping that things go his way as we take another look. Oh, I would say that's incomplete.
Oh, yeah.
Back after this. And welcome back, everyone, to Memorial Stadium here in Norman, Oklahoma. Mark Jones alongside Roddy Jones. Quinn Kesnick down to the field. 3-3. LSU and Oklahoma tied with 10:04 to go in the first half. The previous play was reversed. The pass incomplete. And as a result, LSU punting to Satania. And it's going to go out of bounds around the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10. For the Sooners coming back the other way. John Mateer trying to get this offense in a little bit of rhythm. What would it mean, Roddy, for Oklahoma to get back to the college football playoff for the first time since Jalen Hurts was quarterbacking at this school?
Well, it'd be huge. You know, we talked about the history of this Oklahoma program, and for Brent Venables to struggle in his first few seasons. Last year's team was wrecked by injuries, particularly on the offensive side. But this team has overcome the offensive malaise that they've sort of been in because of a great defense, a great kicker, and timely plays down the stretch.
On 1st and 10, Tory Blaylock breaking one, still on his feet down to the 40-yard line. An explosive run by Blaylock. In for Xavier Robinson, and they move the chains on a 21-yard gain.
Yeah, the hole's going to open up there on the left side, and you get Tory Blaylock just bursting through it. Excellent blocking and a nice run.
Mateer throws behind his intended receiver, incomplete for Blaylock again out of the backfield, but there's a flag back at midfield. That's going to be against the Sooners.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
5 penalties now for 45 yards against Oklahoma.
Penalties have really been killing the Sooners.
Yeah.
On the drive that ended up in the LSU field goal, multiple 15-yard penalties got them down inside the 10. They're able to eventually convert it into 3 points. Now it knocks them back on a 1st down.
Here, a little shuffle pass. Canick, the tight end, brought down by Pyburn. You know, Mateer began his college football journey at Washington State after initially committing to Oregon. And at Washington State, he backed up a one Cam Ward. And this was prior to Cam Ward becoming Cam Ward, of course, before he transferred to Miami.
I'd argue he was Cam Ward at Washington State, too. People just didn't know because he was playing out on the Palouse.
Yeah, facts. 2nd and 19. Sooners go empty. Mateer behind his receiver again. Kanak. Let's go quickly down to Q.
John Mateer's sidearm release and ball placement today has been subpar, leading to a smattering of boos here. This is an Oklahoma fan base that's got high expectations for this game. This game they circled on the calendar. This is the game that puts this team back to relevancy on a national level, and you can hear the frustration. They know it's not going to be pretty, Mark, but they're lacking patience right now with this Sooner team.
Wow. 3 points on the board. You can understand their pain, Roddy.
This team has an opportunity to go to the college football playoff. You chill on the booze, Oklahoma fans.
Mateer running and brought down at about the 41-yard line. Short of the first down. P.J. Woodland stops him on the 6-yard gain.
It has been a frustrating second half of the season offensively for Oklahoma. And a lot of that has to do, I think, with the thumb injury to John Mateer. I think some of that has to do with the fact that the defense and the special teams is so good that Brent Venables has taken the approach of conservatism offensively, right, particularly with a quarterback whose nature is to be a bit of a gunslinger. But mechanically, John Mateer throws off his back foot some, has a low delivery, and that does lead to some inconsistencies.
Third punt of the day for the Sooners. Thomas back and watches it go out of bounds. At about the 15-yard line. Called for the fair catch. There's a look at that surgically repaired thumb we were talking about a moment ago. The injury suffered week 4 in the Auburn game. We'll see how it holds up moving forward. Back after this. Hey, kick off your Week 13 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. Here's our Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup. The Patriots hosting the Giants, 8 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app with Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Coverage kicks off with NFL Live at 3 Eastern. 1st and 10 for the Tigers on the ground. Caden Durham with a nice gain out to about the 24-yard line. Picked up 8.
They caught Oklahoma in a little bit of a twist. Defensive tackle vacates his gap, twisting around. The nose guard gets caught, not able to replace, and they're able to get a decent chunk on first down. That's why you have to stay committed to this run game, because Oklahoma is stout against the run, but there's so much movement up front that occasionally you will catch them in some sort of movement and be able to get a chunk play.
They're number 1 in the nation in yards per carry allowed. Tigers going to run it again, and this time Durham gets to the edge, gets the first down. On a spirited run, they'll move the chains. 9-yard gain on the play.
That time they were able to get the edge because P.J. Adebawara doesn't keep his outside arm free. He engages with both arms on the tackle, and the bounce, Caden Durham's able to bounce it outside and get the edge.
Good job by that Tiger offensive line that is totally rebuilt from a season ago. They lost all 5 players, including the number 4 pick in the draft. To the edge this time. Johnson. There's a flag down on the play. Johnson down at the 32-yard line. Tackle made by Kendall Daniels with 6:41 to go in the first half.
That was a strange play because I think LSU felt like Oklahoma may have jumped into the neutral zone. I don't know that they did, and that's why the LSU offensive line didn't move.
Holding. Defense. Number 6. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, that's going to go against the Sooners.
Yeah, Oklahoma didn't jump. LSU thought that they did. And
Nigel Smith.
I was going to say that was a little strange. Number 6 defensively.
Still first down.
That would have been offense number 6.
Yeah,
goes the other way. And so LSU thought that they had a free play because the center snaps the ball when Oklahoma flinched, but they didn't get into the neutral zone when the ball was snapped. Matt Austin, what did you see on that one?
Well, the nose guard did beat the snap, but just barely. And from the view I had, I couldn't tell if he was across the line or not.
I couldn't.
So apparently the line of scrimmage guys thought that he was not, so they let the play go.
1st and 20 from the 23. Harlan Berry going to be brought down at about the 27, picked up 4 on the play. It was Berry's fumble with about a minute left. That made it 13-10 last week in a close game against Western Kentucky. Ball security at the top of his priority list here this afternoon.
He's a really talented freshman back, though. Great patience in the backfield, reads blocks well, and doesn't always try and hit the home run. He'll take what the defense gives him.
Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Out of the backfield, pass complete to Berry. Broke a couple of tackles and then finally brought down by Kendall Daniels. And a 2-yard gain on the play. Sets up a 3rd and long coming up. That's a new one, Roddy. You haven't heard pest control before.
Yeah, me either. You're playing the Lions. Sorry, you're playing the Tigers. And so I don't know if you want to, like, you're not going for lion flies or anything like that. I don't understand the pest control. That
Animal control, maybe?
Lost on me.
Critter control. 3rd and 14. Tigers 0 for 5 on 3rd down, and Caden Durham on a rather conservative call that time. Sets up 4th down on the 3-yard gain with 5 minutes to go. And pretty much what we expected in a low-scoring game.
But you can see how important first down success is to these offenses with the way these defenses are playing. When LSU got a big gain on first down, they were able to convert and move the chains. And when they haven't been, it's put them in 3rd and long situations because 2nd and long calls are always tough for offenses. And Oklahoma's been able to get off the field.
Chadwick punting from his own 24. Satania back deep, watches it bounce over his head and carry him into the end zone. It'll come back out, 1st down and 10. With 4:23 to go on that 68-yard punt. Tier coming back out, 1st down and 10. And Oklahoma's had a very luminous list of quarterbacking transfers. Heupel, Baker Mayfield came from Texas Tech. Kyler Murray, of course, from A&M. Hurts and Mateer, the latest in that long line.
Heisman Trophy winners, #1 overall pick, Super Bowl champions on that list.
Yeah. Mateer actually said that Baker Mayfield was his early inspiration because of his path. Mateer on the out. Battle and caught at the 28-yard line. Good grab by Deion Burks. An 8-yard pickup. Working against P.J. Woodland. Here's what Mateer had to say after that victory against Missouri. Winning is the goal, and that's all that matters. Some people say we should win pretty. I want to get back to that, Roddy, after this play from the 28. Under 4 minutes to go. Mateer keeps it. Wonderful prestidigitation, great handiwork on the fake to get the 1st down. Now, in a day and age where style points matter one way or another, is OU helping or hurting itself or just neutral right now?
In terms of this game?
Yes, this game.
Look, the most important thing is that they win. They're #8 in the country. They're not going to drop significantly with a win. And we kind of know what we're getting with this Oklahoma team now. But particularly on a day like today against a good LSU defense in a windy situation, it was going to be a struggle offensively to score points.
Mateer gets it out complete. Satania unable to break it. Talked about his speed a little bit earlier. Both parents track and field coaches. His dad was the head coach at Arkansas at one point. His mother ran track and field for Jamaica in the '92 Olympics in Barcelona. As somebody with Jamaican heritage, I can tell you for a fact, I've been to the island. There's a lot of fast people out there on the track.
Just watch the 100 meters every single year. Did you get any of that speed?
A little bit. Okay. A small portion.
A little bit's all you need.
Yeah. 2:40 to go. They're going to keep it on the ground this time. Blaylock might have picked up a yard. Harold Perkins, who has been all over the field. Talk about Satania's ability to run fast. There's a look at Mom. NCAA champ back in the day at LSU. 200 meters, that's no joke. Probably about a 22, mid-23, low-23 runner. And Mario, decathlete. Why anyone would want to do 10 events, I don't know. But
because you can do well enough in all of them to be a 3-time All-American and an NCAA champion. Wonder what his best event was. He's jacked. It was jacked.
Because of that, I'm guessing it wasn't the 1500, the last of the 10 events. Satania.
2-minute timeout.
All right, so before the break, we defined a word that you use, prestidigitation, and the word legerdemain was in the definition, so we had to look that up as well, which means skillful use of one's hands when performing conjuring tricks. Luckily, we don't have to look up any of those words because I know what all of those mean.
You went to Georgia Tech, man. I'm going down the rabbit hole all the way on this.
You are the wordsmith. I follow your lead, and when you don't know a word in a definition, we got to look that one up too.
See if we can find some more legerdemain or prestidigitation here from the offense. They'll just take a simple completion to Satania. With under 2 minutes to go, West Weeks making the tackle. Hey, coming up on the Capital One halftime report, Kevin and Booger in the studio. Will Lane stay or go? And a preview of Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl.
It'll be fun to hear the thoughts of LSU alum Booger McFarland. But, I mean, this is a situation for Oklahoma. They have plenty of time with 3 timeouts and about 1:30 left on the clock.
Still looking for that long play. Mateer, flush out of the pocket. Downfield and way out of bounds. Threw that one away, was in the neighborhood of Satania. Stops the clock with 1:23 to go. Oklahoma with 3 timeouts remaining. It's full complement.
So this is one of those drives for Oklahoma where, because you have the amount of time that you have, do you think at some point about sneaking a run in to try and catch this LSU defense off guard? They can continue to drop back to pass, which has been a struggle at times today.
4 receivers out in this formation. Pass complete to Kanik. He's brought down at the 44-yard line, right around the first down marker, a little bit shy. Halsey and Cooley making the tackle on the 9-yard gain.
Nice job by John Mateer seeing the void in the zone. When LSU has dropped into zone coverage, Oklahoma has done a pretty good job underneath of finding spots to settle, and John Mateer has found its receivers. When he's been accurate, it's created some nice gains for him.
On 3rd and 1, he's going to try and do it himself. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Weeks, but there's a flag down in the backfield. Let's see if this play stands or not. And that's going to go against the Sooners. LSU will probably decline it.
There's a look from our AT&T connected cam. It's going to happen right there on the perimeter with Jaron Kanik. He's going to grab the shoulder of Jack Pyburn and just turn him. Not sure if John Mateer got there anyway. He did not.
Number 12. That penalty's declined. The game clock will start on the snap. It's 4th down.
And Oklahoma is leaving the offense on the field on this 4th down.
They sure are.
I think if nothing else, they're going to try and draw LSU off sides. Will they actually run a play? I don't think so, the way your defense has been playing.
It's really putting a lot of trust in your offense.
LSU, they're second
they actually snap it.
30 seconds in lead.
Frank Wilson going to call a timeout. So the Tigers down to 1. Oklahoma with its full complement. You know, speaking of Wilson, taking over from Brian Kelly and speaking with the coaches and some of the players this week, sense that he's done as good a job as one possibly could have under the circumstances, with the searing hot spotlight on a program that carries high expectations like LSU, to come in here 7-4 and kind of insulate some of the players, because I don't think that sometimes fans understand the tumult that follows the dismissal of a coach, and families are affected too. Families of the players. You wonder about the future and the uncertainty.
The uncertainty is the key word there. I went through a coaching change at Georgia Tech after my freshman year. Shane Gailey was released. It didn't happen during the season, but leading up, you knew there was smoke around whether or not Coach Gailey would be dismissed, and everybody was uncertain in the building, and so you need that steadying force to calm everybody.
4th and 3. Play clock at 12. Play clock at 5. And LSU not going for the pump fake. Good discipline by the Bayou Bengals in that sequence. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Frank Wilson is the 4th interim head coach in LSU history. Who were the other 3?
Oh, goodness. I have no clue. Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm checking it out, man. We're shutting it down.
No idea.
Yeah, let's just go back to back on this one.
I'm going to say Ed Ogeron was one of them because I think he was on some of those stats.
Here's the answer. Aflac trivia question. The Aflac trivia question answer is Hal Hunter. Hey, you got 1 out of the 3.
I consider that a win.
That is a huge win.
I consider that a big-time win.
And looking at Wilson there, in speaking with Harlem Berry and his parents, they both, amongst other parents, expressed the fact that they hope that Wilson is a part of the staff moving forward. And look who's on the sidelines there. Number 44 in crimson and cream, Brian Bosworth. I remember how many young kids started cutting their hair like he did back in the day.
Trend setter.
I think Q was one of them. Still got that full coif. 4th punt of the afternoon for the Sooners. Rayson Miller at his own 40. A fair catch called at about the 5-yard line by Xavion Thomas. It'll be 1st and 10 from there for the Sooners. I didn't cut my hair like the Boz. I had that
Jerry curl.
Yeah, I had the J.C. Watts kind of. Yeah, the Jerry kind of.
Okay.
Nice little brush back.
Was it like Coach Prime says, it looked wet, but it was dry?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
You get just enough curl activator in there and you're good. Something like that, but without the, not so tight on the sides. 3-3 ball game. Caden Durham in the backfield. LSU with one of the lowest rated offenses in the conference. They keep it on the ground conservatively. 6-yard gain on the play for Caleb Jackson. Their rush attack is dead last in the SEC.
Yeah, and they don't have to snap the ball again. They can just take this thing to halftime, and it looks like that's what they're content to do. And
is that a win for LSU?
I think going into halftime tied 3-3 on the road at the number 8 team in the country in Oklahoma, it absolutely is a win for LSU. And the regrouping at halftime is going to be about how to get Michael Van Buren settled into this game and figure out how to create 1 or 2 plays offensively, because that may be all you need with the way this game is playing out.
Amen on that. 3-3 at the break. Lane Kiffin's name lingering in the air this afternoon. We'll get news on that at halftime. Let's take a look as we go back to the studio for a lot more.
Mark Capital One.
You're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King. Here in the 5th meeting all time between LSU and Oklahoma. Oklahoma vying for a spot in the college football playoff. That would happen most likely 99% according to our analytics with a win here today. It would also be their 10th win of the season against just 2 defeats. Deadlocked at 3 in a low-scoring contest that we pretty much expected when you look at the intransigence of the respective defenses. There's a look at Satania. Back for this kick. with the loss, Oklahoma still with a pretty good shot of making it to the college football playoff.
I would argue that that is way too high a percentage of Oklahoma to make.
What number would you say? 30?
Close to 0.
0?
I mean, Texas is a 9-3 team. Oklahoma would be 9-3 with a head-to-head loss against Texas. And so I think it would keep them out.
Fair catch called. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Sooners. Hey, when you look at Oklahoma, not a lot of offense in that first half. How do you get Mateer in any kind of rhythm where they can have a sustained drive at this point to start the quarter?
I think for Oklahoma, it's going to be a commitment to the run that gets this offense going. If you look at what LSU has been susceptible to this year, teams have been able at times to run the football on them. And so I think the run game is going to be big for him. And maybe that is with John Mateer as well. I mean, he's such a capable runner that if you use his legs rather than the inconsistency that you've seen through the air, maybe that gets you better dividends.
Important to note that they have the wind at their back to start this third quarter. Satania in motion. They keep it on the ground. Nice cutback by Blaylock, who bursts into the open field after the 38. Let's go down to Quint.
Hard to kill. That's what Oklahoma has been this season. I joked with Coach Venables at halftime. I said, Coach, you're in familiar territory. He goes, yeah, this is one of those games, one of those gritty games. And they've done the simple things well this season, and they have won ugly. Let's see if they can do it again in the most important game of their season.
Q, the hair looking a little disheveled with the wind down there, partner. Oklahoma keeps it on the ground.
Yeah, that comes with the quaff, I guess.
Hey, the picture doesn't match up with the current day quaff. Q. We'll work on that. Get to PR. As Oklahoma moves the chains out to the 38-yard line. Blaylock in the backfield. 3 receivers out to the bottom of your screen. Mateer delivers in traffic, incomplete. At the 46-yard line, Mansour Delane there to break it up. He's slow to get up.
Mansour Delane ends up on the ground, but Harold Perkins looks like he gets there very early. I'm not sure the receiver would have had a chance to catch it anyway. I mean, Deion Burks was going down to the ground, but Delane clearly gets there early. Be curious to get Matt Austin's thoughts. Let's go to our rules analyst, Matt Austin. Matt, why do you think the flag stayed in the pockets of the referees on that one?
I would have to assume it was a poor angle, but Roddy, that is definitely pass interference.
Yeah, I certainly agree.
Thus the chorus of boos cascading down from the stands. One more look, yeah. He got there early, Harold Perkins.
It would have been a miraculous catch by Deion Burks, but it wasn't uncatchable.
Yeah.
We would have had a shot at it. We at least would have had as good a chance as Mansour Delane. Frank Wilson obviously concerned about the status of his star corner. Mansour Delane might be the #1 corner in this NFL draft coming up. But Brent Venables wondering, hey, that should have been a 15-yard penalty.
Transfer from Virginia Tech. Didn't play last week in their win against Western Kentucky. Hey, if you're Oklahoma, do you maybe take a shot at his replacement coming in?
I mean, it's third down, so I don't think you do it here. And P.J. Woodland has played a ton of ball. Mansour Delane missed last week's game. P.J. Woodland's played really well behind him.
And we got flags. That looks like it's going to go against Pierre Louis.
Start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
This is not a game that the offense puts on their reel or their resume right now. 6 penalties, 50 yards.
That one, and an unforced error. I mean, they're shifting on the LSU defense, but this offensive line's got to be able to hold its water. LSU is running people on and off the field.
3rd and 15, and they're going to blow it dead as a result, Roddy. You saw it. Yeah. This won't count.
Prior to the snap, LSU called their first time out of the half.
Oklahoma fans booing because they feel like they had one.
Yeah, and they're running guys on and off the field. Clearly, there was a timeout called prior to the snap, but LSU, a little disjointed defensively, forces the timeout.
WWE Survivor Series is a Thanksgiving week tradition since 1987, and War Games returns tonight with a stacked card highlighted by the main event, a 5-on-5 locked 2-ring steel cage match with Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar leading their teams. Coverage starts 7 Eastern, streaming on the ESPN app and the Unlimited plan. Who do you like? Do I ask you who you like in that?
In a 5-on-5 locked 2-ring steel cage match, I like the home team.
Always Satania, part of the home team, hangs on to it after taking a hit and points towards the end zone. It's a first down at the 37.
It's a nice delivery by John Mateer, maybe his best throw of the day, and the catch by Isaiah Satania, phenomenal before the safety gets there.
Up at the line of scrimmage quickly. Mateer picked off, coming back the other way. Halsey, and he's got a group of blockers in front of him. Knocked out of bounds. That's the second interception of the day thrown by Mateer, who ultimately made the tackle. But the Tigers defense once again proves to be impregnable.
A.J. Halsey ends up right here, and John Mateer locks on the route by the tight end, Jaron Koenig. And all Halsey does is read the eyes. When it gets to Jaron Koenig, he breaks on the football. And after a second after making a tremendous throw on a 3rd and long, LSU comes up with its second interception of the game, 16th on the season, leading the SEC, and sets up this offense in good field position once again.
It's a type of game, Roddy, you said it a little bit earlier, it might take just one play to win it. On the ground, down to the 24-yard line, Harlem Berry. Nice gain. Picks up about 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
And Mark, you asked at halftime, what does Oklahoma need to do to get the offense going? I mentioned commitment to the run game. They ran it really well in the first play and then didn't go back to it consistently. They converted the 3rd and long, but then you throw the interception. I think it's the same thing for this LSU team. Stay committed to the run game and use Michael Van Buren's legs as well.
Harlem in the backfield. Behind Van Buren, takes the handoff, and he's close to another Tiger first down. It'll be 3rd down and short. About a yard to go. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. LSU looking for its 8th win of the season. Brent Venables has talked about the pillars of his defense. What he wants it to look like, game in, game out. Physical, punishing, relentless, and suffocating. They need all 4 now. Van Buren keeps it. Outrunning the defense. Van Buren lunging. Did he get in? They're going to spot it at the 2-yard line. Michael Van Buren with a burst. Sets up a first down and goal. He ran for 23.
Well, it's a really nice call, the pull by Michael Van Buren, and then up the sideline from our pylon cam, dives forward. You can see that foot hits out of bounds before he's able to get there. But really nice call by Alex Atkins on 3rd down.
They spotted at the 1. That was their first 3rd down conversion of the game. Out of the backfield, touchdown Tigers, Thomas. And LSU able to capitalize on the Mateer interception.
Davion Thomas is going to come in motion from this way and then comes back, fakes like he's going back this way, and it freezes the defender that's covering him in man-to-man. He just gets a step. Michael Van Buren, easy pitch and catch. And LSU with an offensive touchdown after a first half where they really struggled. They finally turn a turnover into a touchdown and look to take a 7-point lead.
Thomas with his 4th touchdown reception of the season. And the Bayou Bengals lead it by 7. Brent Venables looking busted, disgusted, and right now not to be trusted.
Run fast while you have the chance. SEC on ABC College Football, presented by Burger King, is brought to you by Sanderson Farms, the official chicken of the SEC.
There's a look at the sequence of how the day began. Back-to-back interceptions. Oklahoma moving downfield, and then the interception by LSU a moment ago to start this third quarter. But this time the difference, they were able to capitalize on Thomas's sprint into the end zone to take a 10-3 advantage here in the third quarter.
It has been the story, really, of who makes less mistakes. And right now, Oklahoma, after back-to-back games where they did not turn the ball over against Alabama and Missouri, 2 John Mateer interceptions have set LSU up well. They've only been able to convert once for points, but that one time they converted was a touchdown.
Fair catch called at the 16-yard line. This week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. There's a look at the brackets right now. With the loss, what happens here?
Oh, man. I think Oklahoma drops to a place where they are going to be compared with Texas. And Texas has a head-to-head win over Oklahoma. So our playoff predictor gave them a 40-something% chance of getting in the college football playoff with a loss. I think with a loss, Oklahoma is out. Because the cutoff to get into the college football playoff right now looks like it's going to be 10. Because you get 12 teams in, but the group of 5 champion and the champion of the ACC are going to be ranked outside of the top 12.
Great point. Mateer. And, of course, Tulane and North Texas probably going to end up playing in that American Conference Championship game next week on ABC Friday night. Meanwhile, here's a look at our games of import in the SEC. The Iron Bowl coming up right after this one with number 10, Alabama.
Coming into the day, the SEC looked like it was primed to have 5 teams in the college football playoff, with Oklahoma now on the road.
Mateer delivers a strike out to the 43-yard line. Catch by Caden Helms. And that's a first down. Going to be interesting to watch, Roddy, if Mateer can get his rhythm back after throwing that pick a moment ago. Picked up 16 there.
Well, he is resilient. He's played a lot of ball over the course of his career. And I would expect exactly what we just saw, him to be locked in. Thing is, can they find any run game?
Here's Satania on the ground, nowhere to go. Pardon me, that was Torrey Blaylock brought down for no gain on the play. You talk about Mateer and his leadership. It was established early once arriving on campus, coming from Washington State. In the spring, there was a voluntary workout session, and very few people showed up. So he basically turned the group text chat green. He sent out a text, a scathing one, to his teammates saying, guys, if we want to have a different result from the previous year, we've got to show up and work hard. He did and they did. The ball came loose on the hit by Keys. Wow. John Mateer recovered it. Back up at the line of scrimmage. Third down. Play clock at 20.
LSU with a late substitution. Oklahoma's going to catch him at 12 on the field.
We've seen that a couple times. Mateer complete on the slant. Gibson. And he's finally stopped up at about the 31-yard line. Another first down and a late flag thrown.
The flag is...
Illegal substitution in defense. More than 11 players on the field at the time of the snap. That penalty's declined.
Seen that a couple times, right?
We have, and mechanically, Oklahoma substituted, so the referees will hold the ball and allow LSU to match the substitution, but it takes so long for LSU to start the substitution process that the center judge is released, and Oklahoma is able to have a free play because LSU took its time sending another player on the field.
Satania in motion. Handoff to Robinson. Nowhere to go for Robinson. So hold on. You got to actually sprint onto the field?
Yeah, it's a novel concept, but the referee is holding the snap right now, and then after a couple of seconds, LSU starts, and then the coaches are saying, "Hey, get off the field!" to Jamari Butler. He tries to sprint, but doesn't quite make it.
2nd down and 8 for the Sooners from the 28. Satania in motion to the bottom of your screen now sets. They pick up the pressure. Matier fires high, incomplete for Satania. And it's incomplete, setting up a 3rd down and 8.
What was a hard hit delivered by Tamarcus Cooley. Legal hits the receiver right in the chest, but an errant throw by John Matier. Oklahoma, Mark, is still looking for its first trip to the red zone today.
Wow.
And here they have a 3rd and long situation. They've been able to convert a couple of times in the second half on 3rd and longs, but LSU has gone to zone coverage where John Matier has been able to find the open receiver.
Sooners with trips to the bottom of your screen. Matier looks the other way, one-on-one, and is picked off at the 7-yard line. The Tigers with their 3rd interception. This time, it's DJ Pickett. He had a pick last week and back-to-back weeks now. DJ Pickett.
Mark, I am surprised LSU has not gone to this more often. Challenge these receivers in man-to-man. It is a well underthrown ball. John Matier's got to get that up and to the outside. Doesn't give his receiver a chance. And you get Giovanni Gibson trying to go around and through the 6'5", nearly 200-pound DJ Pickett, who just cradles the ball into his chest. Another turnover for Oklahoma, and these fans are starting to get concerned.
With good reason. With a potential berth in the college football playoff on the line, Berry stopped up by David Stone.
And Mark, the question for me now is, can this Oklahoma defense bail out this team again? They have done it time and time again. They got outgained by nearly 200 yards at Alabama.
That's incredible.
But the defense was able to set them up in positions to kick field goals or score touchdowns with a pick 6. Can they do it again against this LSU team?
Well, if they can get a hold on this possession by the Tigers, they would have pretty good starting field position. 2nd and 12. And that's going to be a keeper by Van Buren. Nowhere to go. Couldn't hit the edge. Spears Jennings making the tackle, setting up 3rd down and long.
Robert Spears Jennings, one of the top safety prospects for this upcoming year's draft, made a really nice play there. LSU, I think you are being very conservative with this play call. You do not want Brent Venables simulated pressures or full pressures to cause a holding in the end zone or a sack in the end zone, or certainly a turnover. I think you're being pretty conservative here with Michael Van Buren in this offense.
Van Buren is going to hand it off. They'll run it out of the end zone. That's Durham. And Durham out across the 10 to the 12. 4th and about 5 to go. A little bit of room for the punt upcoming for the Tigers with 6:09 to go in the 3rd quarter.
John Matier going to get another shot after his 3rd interception of the game. Wonder how Ben Arbuckle is going to change the way he's calling this game when they get back on offense.
Yeah. Wonder how you rehabilitate his confidence at this point, if at all. Satania fields it at the 39. They'll be 1st and 10 from there. 49-yard punt. Nothing on the return. The mood swings have gone from one end of the spectrum to the other for the Sooner fans on hand here today. Perplexed to pleased. 10-3, the LSU Tigers leading the Sooners, who are really looking at a lot on stake here today, Roddy. We went from discussing style points for Oklahoma to just surviving now.
Now it is about survival, because if you win, you're in the college football playoff. If you lose, you are out. And the big winners right now, with this scoreline hold, BYU, Miami, and Texas, who would all inch closer to college football playoff appearances as at-larges if this Oklahoma team were to lose.
Miami with a win today at Pitt. Let's go down to Q.
John Matier, after throwing that third pick, comes over to the sideline, takes a big swill of Gatorade, and has a seat on the heated benches. Didn't take long for Ben Arbuckle, their offensive coordinator, to pull up a chair right next to the two, and they talked for what was 3 to 5 minutes just about the game plan, about the play calling sheet. Matier now has got to bounce back. He's got to bounce back with confidence, Mark.
Well, he's taking a shot here. Q to Satania. Good coverage down the sidelines. No flag. Incomplete. Mansour Delane back in the ball game. Remember, we saw him shaken up a little bit earlier as we look at the numbers from Matier.
Oklahoma has shown a resistance to staying committed to the run. Anytime it's second and I would say 6+, maybe even less than that, it feels like they go straight to the pass to set them up for 3rd and longs. If I'm LSU, forget about playing zone. I think you are challenging these receivers every single play to get open against man coverage.
Matier's thrown 2 interceptions in his last 6 passes. That one to the sidelines, complete right near that first down marker to Satania, working against Woodland, and he's going to come up about a yard shy. It'll be 4th and about a yard.
It's a nice job. They had a man beater, bunch formation. They got some natural picks. It created some space. P.J. Woodland was able to get Satania out of bounds on that 3rd down. But remember, Oklahoma had a 4th and short in this part of the field earlier in the game. We're not able to get it. They tried to run it on that one with the running back.
See what they do here. Play clock at 3. And a chorus of boos cascading down from the stands here.
You know, Mark, I actually kind of like the decision. This is a defensive ball game, and instead of wasting your timeout, calling a timeout, and trying to get it on the 4th down, you've already been stopped at this part of the field. You are playing the field position game and banking on your defense bailing you out with a turnover or a big play to create an advantageous situation for your offense. I actually like the conservative decision by Brent Venables.
All right, so in comes the punt team. Grayson Miller. 5th punt of the afternoon. And that's Xavion Thomas, who scored the touchdown for LSU a little bit earlier. A high spiral. Boy, that is almost a great punt as it caroms into the end zone. 56 yards in all. 55 would have been a little bit better. 4 minutes to go. And interesting to note, Roddy, that Oklahoma, who may or may not get the ball back, you know, with the wind at their back one more time or not. Hey, the SEC Network will have you covered in Atlanta for the SEC Championship game next Saturday with a 4-hour pregame. It all starts at noon Eastern with Marty and McGee, followed by SEC Nation. Then we'll have a Skycast version of the game from just above the field. And after the game, we'll have a full breakdown with player and coach interviews. Gotta love this time of the year for college football. 1st down and 10 for LSU. From its own 20. Berry picks up 2, brought down by Eli Bowen. 2nd down and 8.
You mentioned the SEC Championship game. The game behind us will decide who plays in that game. We got the Iron Bowl coming up. Alabama on the road in Jordan-Hare against Auburn. With a win, Alabama is in, playing the Georgia Bulldogs. With a loss, Ole Miss makes the conference championship game. Living in Atlanta, I know a lot of Georgia Bulldogs fans. And let's just say there wasn't the elation that I expected at the Texas A&M loss and them going to the SEC championship game.
Right. On second down, pitch to the wide side of the field. Berry couldn't outrun the defense. Picked up a yard on the play. Boganowski making the tackle for Oklahoma. Here's a look at some of the scenarios.
Texas A&M was out, eliminated with that loss to Texas. If Alabama wins, they're in. Playing the Georgia Bulldogs. If not, Lane Kiffin.
I wonder who's going to coach Ole Miss.
That's a great question. Let's go to Marty Smith. I don't know.
Van Buren throws it out of bounds. Good discernment that time by Michael Van Buren. And it's 4th down. So Oklahoma will get the football back once more with the Winds at its collective back. With 2:45 to go here. Satania back at his own 37-yard line. Venables, he's all gas, no brakes.
Yes, he is.
There's no in between.
He's got to be frustrated today. His defense has given up 107 yards of offense, and yet they find themselves down by 7 in large part because of the turnovers.
7th punt for Chadwick. Wow, that's a great punt into the wind. Satania on the return, looking for an alley. Isaiah Satania all the way into LSU territory at the 45-yard line. Finally tackled by Grant Chadwick, the punter. A 57-yard punt, 35 on the return. As we take a look at our high-speed highlights brought to you by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
There was a Patrick Payton tip that ended up in a Harold Perkins interception early in the game. LSU threw an interception right after that. A.J. Halsey was able to track down one as well. And then on the last possession, it was DJ Pickett that ends up picking off an underthrow by John Mateer. 3 interceptions on the game for John Mateer, tying his season high through 3 against Texas as well.
With Torrey Blaylock behind him in the backfield. Mateer hands it off and nowhere to go. Whit Weeks making the tackle on the play. He's been nicked up last couple of weeks. We saw him in pregame going through some special PT and stretching, and even at halftime with one of the athletic trainers.
LSU has often been at its best this season defensively when there are a couple of weeks on the field. Whit Weeks playing next to his brother West Weeks. Last week, Zach Weeks got in the game as well with the Weeks brother. We had 3 weeks on the field.
Is last week related?
Last week is not related. Okay. Who's on first?
Little receiver screen, tunnel screen. Burks on the move. Burks with a burst. Touchdown Sooners. There it is. Deion Burks on the tunnel screen, busts loose and registers his 3rd touchdown catch of the season, the 13th of his career, and Oklahoma knocks the game at 10 apiece with 1:47 to go. So if you were wondering about the resolve and the resilience of John Mateer, there's a window to what he's got left, Roddy.
Certainly is. There's no safety in the middle of the field, and you're going to get a couple of offensive linemen pulling with a blitz off the edge, and it creates a ton of space for Deion Burks. The offensive linemen get down the field. You've got offensive linemen downfield. Michael Fasusi looking for someone to block, and then it's Deion Burks with the speed to the end zone. It's a nice call set up by the long punt return. Once again, this Oklahoma special teams comes up big after the long punt by LSU. And just by hanging in there, keeping that defense hanging in there, keeping them close, you hit one play offensively and you're back in this.
And you made a great point a moment ago in Coach Venables trusting his defense, not going for it on that 4th down. Pays dividends here.
It certainly did. It set up LSU back in deep in their own territory. They get a boomer of a punt that the Sooner is able to return because LSU outkicked their coverage. And then one play to Deion Burks ends up in a touchdown.
I see what you did there with the boomer punt and the Sooner.
Sometimes you run into some things.
Hey, how about that? It'll be 1st and 10 from the LSU 25. And what kind of response does Michael Van Buren Jr. have? Tigers have not defeated top 10 SEC opponent on the road since 2020, the COVID year.
LSU has not really had much going on in the second half offensively. 41 yards, and now this crowd's getting back into it. We've seen them displeased at times today, but they are fired up and alive after that touchdown.
Berry in the backfield on 1st and 10. Pass complete to Brown. Brown brought down at about the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Toby Johnson making the tackle for the Sooners.
It's a nice first down play for LSU. I think.
Why do you like that call?
Because it gets the ball on the perimeter quickly in space, and running the football has been tough. You have to stay committed to it. I'd like to see them try and run it on the perimeter some, like we saw with Michael Van Buren on the long play that got him down inside the 5.
Hilton Jr. in motion to the top of your screen. Van Buren pulls complete. That's going to be a first down catch by Kyle Parker. Right beyond the 35-yard line, and they move the chains on the 7-yard pickup.
For a free access throw, Jacoby Johnson, the corner, is well off the football. Just a little 5-yard out, and it gets you a first down. Those are the things that LSU has to take advantage of, as everything else has been really difficult for them today.
Thomas splits out wide to the top of your screen. He scored the only touchdown today for the Tigers. Parker in motion. They keep it on the ground. Nowhere to go for Berry. Brought down against the #1 defense against the rush in the country. Williams, one of the first guys to get there. 1-yard pickup.
It's really starting to feel like Oklahoma is daring LSU to throw the ball. LSU's not going to have to snap it. And if they don't want to, they can take this thing to the 4th quarter. But a lot of bodies around the line of scrimmage for Oklahoma.
That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. 45 minutes in the books. And for the Oklahoma Sooners, 15 minutes away potentially from a berth in the college football playoff. But the Tigers going to try and flip the script. Looking for their first win. Well, Coach Venables talked about the pillars of his defense with Quinn a moment ago. He'll need them right now.
Well, knocking them back and pushing the pile. It's as simple as it looks. I can see what we either are or aren't doing by just looking for those 2 things.
How would you describe suffocating as a trait?
I think our guys got a relentless mindset, getting to the freaking football. You end up playing for one another, having a blast like it's recess out there, but not trying to give them an inch.
Not giving them an inch, but giving them almost yards there. Green dropped the pass. Dredas Green, who had the lone touchdown for the Tigers last week in their victory against Western Kentucky.
All year long, Brent Venables' defense has shown that they are physical, they are punishing, they are relentless, and they are suffocating. And they are being all of those things today. They've kept this team in the game. Now can they come up with a big 3rd down stop to get the ball back to the offense?
3rd and 9. Van Buren going to take off. Slides in short of the first down.
My question for Michael Van Buren is why slide there? I understand as a quarterback you want to protect your body, but if I'm on that offense and I see you've got an opportunity to put your head down and challenge a defender to get a first down in a tie ball game in the 4th quarter on the road against the top 10 team and you don't do it, man, am I disappointed. Everybody's laying their bodies on the line for this team. I would have loved to have seen Michael Van Buren pick a defender, put his head down, try and run through him and get that first.
On the punt, 8th of the day for Chadwick. Out of bounds, it'll be Sooner football Just underway here in the fourth and final quarter. Let's go down to Quinn.
It was 4 years ago, almost to the day, December 6, 2021, when Brent Venables was hired here at Oklahoma. He made a promise to the fans. He made a promise to the program. He said, we're going to play elite defense. Well, here we are 4 years later, and he's delivered on that promise. The question is, can they find an offense? Which is ironic, because you can think of the era prior to Venables. This was like air raid, up and down, scoring 45, 50 points. Give me 17 right now is what the Sooner fans need.
Yeah. They may only need 12, Q. I mean, the way this defense is playing, one more score might do it.
On the feet by Mateer, nowhere to go. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Pyburn making the tackle. Yeah, the Sooner defense is running off the field, telling the offense, hey, hold them till we get back. Huh?
Right, exactly. Make sure you just don't set us up poorly. We will eventually get it back in your favor, but this is an Oklahoma team. Defense and special teams has carried them over the last few weeks. They got the best kicker in the country. All you got to do is get in ring.
Mateer, incomplete, almost intercepted, a dangerous throw. Halsey had it hit his hands, it appeared like, from up here.
I think it did. It was just too quick on the ricochet. But the man-to-man defense in large part has been smothering. P.J. Woodland all over Deion Burks, knocks this ball, tips it, and A.J. Halsey has an opportunity for his second interception of the day, what would have been the fourth for John Mateer. I mean, it really feels like all Oklahoma needs to do is prevent LSU from getting interceptions, and they'll have a good shot.
On 3rd and 10, Mateer pursued. And it's going to be brought down at the 22 and 4th down coming up. Pyburn and Gooden there to make the tackle. So the Tigers defense holds on that sequence. They'll get off the field.
Jamari Butler had the initial pressure, and the ball was a little loose, it looked like. John Mateer, at least initially, but able to hold on to it.
Well, Xavier Thomas will go back, Roddy, and wait for this punt. 6th of the night for Grayson Miller. Keep in mind that Thomas had a 40-yard punt return last week in that game against Western Kentucky. Into the wind, line drive. Thomas fields it. And well covered by the Sooners. It's going to be tackled right there at the 32-yard line on the 44-yard punt. There's a look at the odds of Oklahoma making it to the college football playoff, but they need to handle business and stand on business when we come back with 12:34 to go. You're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King. Here at Memorial Stadium, Norman, Oklahoma, night has fallen. On this last Saturday in November, Mark Jones alongside Roddy Jones. Quinn Kessenich down on the field, chopping it up. It's LSU football, 1st and 10 from their own 32. Van Buren out of the shotgun. They go empty formation. They go to the single side. Green makes the catch. Down at the 36-yard line. They went to their big, imposing target.
He's listed as a tight end, but Trey'Dez Green is just like a big receiver when he's out wide. 6'7", up against defender for Oklahoma. Really nice job up against Davon Jordan, who just there's no contest against a 6'7" receiver.
Keep it on the ground. This is DeJuan Johnson, broke a tackle. Mouthpiece came flying out, an indicator of how hard they're hitting down there. I thought I heard somebody say too little down there.
I mean, it might as well have been. I mean, this is a guy who played on the LSU basketball team last year as well. Just a tremendous athlete who's one of the biggest mismatches that you can find around. He is a special talent out wide. You can see even when he's up against a safety, which he wasn't on that play, Davon Jordan,
who's 5'11".
5'11", exactly. Just no match for with a well-thrown ball.
Brown in motion. Van Buren down to the 20, caught by Thomas. And this Tiger offense finding a little bit of rhythm, a gain of 11.
Couple of plays, creative formation by Alex Atkins on the Trades Green play, and then you get Michael Van Buren on the roll. It creates some space in the defense and an accurate throw. And then after a few plays, got this Oklahoma defense kind of on its heels a little bit.
Trades Green back in the ball game. It's going to be Berry, and nowhere to go. Stopped up right near the line of scrimmage. Harlem Berry is. Heineke making the tackle. It'll be second down and about 9 to go.
I think you try and find another matchup for Trades Green. On the drive prior to this one, they got him on a crossing route, a ball that he just dropped. That was going to be a big play. You get the one-on-one on the outside, that it did end up in the big play. The run game has been somewhat inconsistent, so if you don't go back to that, then I think you find the tight end Trades Green, or at least try to.
He's on the right side of the formation. And they're going to blow this play dead.
Prior to the snap, LSU called their second timeout of the half.
So LSU with one timeout remaining.
5 seconds in length.
Frank Wilson looking for his third win as the interim head coach and spoil the CFP party for Oklahoma in the process. Back after this break. Well, LSU looking to eat right now on the fringes of the red zone. 2nd and 9. On the reverse, ball's loose and recovered as they tried a little trickery on the reverse. Grayson Halton knocked it loose. Made a big play for the Sooners.
Grayson Halton has been phenomenal the past couple of weeks, really all season for this Oklahoma defense. He almost picks this ball off. And had he not, there was room out wide for a relatively big play, and it knocks LSU back a long way.
Wow.
Even with the wind, this would be 57-ish yard field goal.
They lost 17 on that play, Roddy. Now from right around the 40. 3rd and 27. Green in motion now sets. And Buren hits Green. There's a flag down. Green down at the 31. 8-yard pickup, but will it stand?
Prior to the snap, delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Boy, that's 2 major miscues against the Tigers that push them even further back now at the 45.
And LSU, having spent 2 of its timeouts earlier in the half, with only 1 left, wisely decides not to take it. And the long for the season this year for Damian Ramos is the 52-yarder he hit in the first game against Clemson. He is kicking with the wind. And in pregame, they were hammering those things. Both Damian Wilson and Tate Sandell were hammering them from 60-plus. But still a low percentage kick from this far out.
It would be a 62-yarder from here. On 3rd and long, Van Buren on the run at the last minute fires. They're going to rule it complete and spotted at about the 25-26 to Xavier Thomas. So a little bit more manageable potential field goal here. Look at this nice effort.
Xavier Thomas just keeps working across the field. And when Michael Van Buren sees him, delivers it right on the 0, right in the middle of his body. And it sets up Damian Ramos with a much more manageable field goal.
This one coming from about 43 yards out. Made one earlier from 25. Light work for Damian Ramos, giving LSU a 3-point lead with just under 8 minutes to go, trying to spoil the hopes of the Sooners and their potential spot in the college football playoff. That's what's on the line.
One for the road.
Back here under the lights at Memorial Stadium, LSU leading by a field goal. Sooners will have the football 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. John Mateer, quarterback. It hasn't been pretty today. He's thrown 3 interceptions. And with 7:56 to go, the way this game has been going, you don't want to leave it to your defense too much, Roddy, right?
At some point, the offense is going to have to put together another drive and get down into at least field goal range to tie this thing up. You saw the numbers on John Mateer, 226 yards passing. Those 3 interceptions have proven costly.
Gibson in motion. And they're going to blow this play dead. They're going to have a procedure penalty against the Sooners.
False start. Offense. Number 5. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
8 penalties against Oklahoma for a total of 60 yards.
Please reset the game clock to 7:56.
Feels like they've been very costly. You had the 2 15-yarders on an early LSU drive that ended in a field goal. Helped LSU out a ton. Now they're behind the sticks on a first down after the procedure penalty.
Back at the 20. Little pressure coming from the Tigers. Mateer incomplete. It seemed to hit Gibson in the hands. But it sets up 2nd and 15.
Mark, I wonder if he was distracted a little bit by the umpire, who did a great job of getting out of the way. But the umpire's right here in the middle of the field, and John Mateer is going to throw it basically right at the umpire's ear. And he ends up ducking out of the way. But Giovanni Gibson might have been distracted just slightly by the umpire, who's just doing his job.
Yeah. On the run, this is Mateer, brought down by Keys. And a quick 3rd and long coming up. Take another look at it.
That's athleticism. I wonder if our rules analyst, Matt Austin, was ever an umpire. we established Jerry McGinn was not a few weeks ago. Matt, were you do you ever suit up in the middle of the defense as an umpire?
Never.
You got to be ready to duck.
It was emphatic, man.
3rd and 12. Trying to keep this drive alive. Mateer scrambling. The pass is caught by Kanek, but it's short of the first down. It'll be 4th and about 4 to go here. A little bit of a decision for the Sooners.
I don't think it's much of a decision. I don't think you want to put LSU in a position where they could get the ball in a short field. You punt the ball away. Ultimately, your defense has played well. LSU only has 171 yards of offense. And so you punt it away. You hope your defense can hold them. And give your offense some time to get it going a little bit.
Grayson Miller into punt again.
I love it when the analytics agrees with the rod analytics.
What about that, huh? 7th punt of the afternoon. Fair catch called back at the 30-yard line by Xavier Thomas. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Roddy, if they can hang on to the football here for even 4 or 5 minutes, that might be it.
We are starting to count possessions. This was the last drive. They go up the sideline to Trey'Dez Green in a one-on-one situation. Roll Michael Van Buren out. He gets a nice completion to Xavier Thomas. And then another one. That was a crucial one on 3rd down to get Damian Ramos into a manageable field goal situation to take the lead. And you're right, Mark. I mean, you need first downs, obviously, and those have been hard to come by for LSU today. They've only had 8 on the day, but if you're able to put together a drive, you really put the pressure on this Oklahoma offense.
On 1st down, nowhere to go that time for Harlem Berry, stopped up behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and about 11 to go. Kobe McKenzie making the tackle.
If you want to know what Oklahoma is thinking, this is what it looked like. There is no one in the middle of the field. You've got 3 guys out wide playing man-to-man. Everybody else is at the line of scrimmage trying to stop the run and force an LSU punt. Brent Venables has said, all right, if you're going to do this, LSU, you're going to have to do it against not only a loaded box, a loaded line with 8 defenders at the line of scrimmage.
Under 6 minutes to go.
It's kind of the same thing here. A lot of guys around the line of scrimmage.
Out to the 35. It's Durham with a nice sprint. Good run that time to pick up 8. So a manageable 3rd down coming up now for the Tigers.
I think for LSU, I like Michael Van Buren outside the pocket. Get him away from the interior of that rush.
Pivotal 3rd down here. They're 1 of 11 on 3rd down tonight.
Third down, nobody in the middle of the field.
Van Buren fires. Incomplete for Brown. So they get the stop. Eli Bowen there defending. So he'll be thrown a little bit behind Barry and Brown. So the Sooners will get the football back and another punt.
Oklahoma showed pressure initially when LSU went to check. Oklahoma said, okay, we showed a little pressure before. Now we're going to bring a lot of pressure. They brought 7 defenders on that last play. Got a free rusher at the quarterback and forced the incompletion.
Chadwick with his career-high 9th punt of the day. All the way back at the 16-yard line. Satania fields it. They got a long way to go. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Interim head coach Frank Wilson of LSU, a St. Augustine graduate in New Orleans. So being at LSU means the world to him. A school that also sent Tyrann Mathieu and Leonard Fournette to LSU from St. Aug. His team leading by a field goal with 5:04 to go.
And this is why Brent Venables in the offseason went and got John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle. It's for situations like this. 5 minutes left in the game, down by 3 with a college football playoff berth on the line. You need this Oklahoma offense to come up big for you.
Mateer surveys, pulls complete. Works the middle of the field to the tight end, Canick. About a yard shy of the 1st down. 9-yard pickup. Keys making the tackle. 2nd and short. Mateer finds his tight end, Canick, again. And a little bit of yards after catch all the way out to the 43. 1st and 10. Sooners with its full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. A pickup of 17.
They caught LSU off guard a little bit with the tempo. I like the fact that they're going really up-tempo now.
Mateer, downfield wide open. It's room service. Satania. College football playoff hopes alive. Somebody hit the snooze button in the secondary or on defense for the Tigers as Satania, unmarked, unsupervised in the secondary. 58 yards for the touchdown, Roddy.
Well, Isaiah Satania is going to line up here in the slot, and the safety, Tamarcus Cooley, rolls this way, and neither of these 2 defenders take Isaiah Satania up the field as he goes scot-free. There is no one within 20 yards of him by the time he catches this football. And I think the tempo of Oklahoma on that drive really bothered LSU defensively. The first play, it looked like they were caught on their heels a little bit on the out route to Jaron Canick. and they were able to get a big gain, and then they go tempo again. Miscommunication on the defense in that secondary that's been so good today, and Isaiah Satania puts this Oklahoma offense on the board, and this Oklahoma team right now that stands in the college football playoff.
Just like a week ago, it was Satania that made the big play. That long catch and run against Mizzou. And the Sooners defense now tasked with holding on for the last 4:16. Satania, meanwhile, today 8 receptions for a total of 116 yards and a touchdown. Well, the Sooners officially off of life support. On the return, it's Berrien Brown. Brown got to the corner. Goes north-south, still in bounds, all the way up near midfield. So a prolific return by Berrien Brown. And the Tigers, Roddy, will start with great field position here with 4:09 to go.
Yeah, and a couple of defenders for Oklahoma end up hitting each other as Berrien Brown just tries to get outside. And look on the edge. You got a couple of guys taking themselves out. Tate Sandell actually does a pretty good job of slowing Berrien Brown down so that the tackle can be made. But LSU in good field position, down by 4, 4:09 left on the clock.
A 47-yard kickoff return. Michael Van Buren making his 3rd consecutive start. Out of the shotgun. Durham in the backfield. Receiver screen complete. Down to the 44 is Chris Hilton Jr. Going to be a gain of about 4, close to 5 on the play. Under 4 minutes to go. The Tigers with a singular timeout remaining. 2nd and 6.
And with the tempo that LSU has gone with all game long, and with only 1 timeout, you can't count on another possession. This is the possession that you have to find the ball in the end zone. You've got to find a way to score a touchdown.
Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. Batted down. Marvin Jones Jr., the transfer from Florida State, got a hand up there and tipped it away. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for Frank Wilson's crew.
And if you're Frank Wilson, you're telling your offensive coordinator, Alex Atkins, you got 2 downs here to get these 6 yards. You don't have to get it all in one play. You can cut it in half. You find yourself in a pretty decent position for 4th down.
Van Buren got it off, complete. 1st down all the way to the 36. Parker moves the chains with 3:16 to go. Big time play by Kyle Parker. Picks up 10.
Yeah, it was a nice job of picking up the blitz by that LSU offensive line and the running back, Caden Durham. And Kyle Parker just sits in the soft spot in the zone. Good recognition by Michael Van Buren.
They set up the screen at the 40. Jawan Johnson is brought down inside the 35 at about the 33-yard line. Picked up 4 on the play. Clock running with 2:34 to go. 2nd down and 6.
The screen game has been something LSU has gone to a lot, both on the perimeter and with the running back screens. This defense has done a good job diagnosing it and hasn't gotten caught in a blitz situation where LSU has been able to hit a big play. That has to continue because LSU obviously has had challenges running the football.
Thomas split wide to the top of your screen. Hilton Jr. in motion. Van Buren rolls left. Completes the pass at the 33 to Durham. Fell down immediately. Picked up a yard on the play. And we have hit the 2-minute timeout. Coach Venables' team trying to hang on with LSU threatening. We'll be right back after this break. When the day began here in Norman, Oklahoma, the name Lane loomed large over the LSU program, but the players on the field in the present moment trying to right now complete a stirring comeback, down by 4 with under 2 minutes to go. And for their opponents, Oklahoma, a berth in the college football playoff on the line. 3rd and 5 for the Tigers. Van Buren keeps it and is going to end up about 2 yards short of the first down at the 29. So a manageable 4th and short coming up.
I like the call, though, from Alex Atkins. And now what do you go to on 4th down? Because it's 4th and 2, everything's kind of on the table. I'd like to see them get Michael Van Buren on the perimeter with his legs and give him the option to either throw it to somebody leaking out or run it. Keeping him in the pocket, I don't think that's the way to go unless you've got a really good matchup.
Against the top rush defense in the country. Thomas in motion, and we're going to have a timeout called by LSU.
And if you were going to take that timeout, you'd like to have saved a lot of time by taking it early.
Tell you what, his face tells you everything that he's feeling on every play. The demonstrative Brent Venables. 4th and 2 coming up with 1:20 to go. If you're LSU, you talked about the options, getting Van Buren on the edge. How do you want to do that against the defense that gives up the fewest yards per carry in the country?
Well, I think a simple rollout gets you in a position where you're away from that rush, unless you've got a matchup on the outside that you like. And that would be one of your receivers against a corner that's off the line of scrimmage, giving you a free access throw. I would expect Oklahoma to take those away, whether you're pressed up or you roll to a coverage that takes away the easy throws. But does LSU dare to try and big man this Oklahoma defense? The defensive tackles have been excellent. David Stone, Grayson Halton in the middle. Those two guys have been phenomenal all day long.
Backs line up out of the eye. Play fake. Incomplete. The Sooners will take over on downs.
Well, Peyton Bowen's here on the perimeter. He is going to make the play. But you can see the tight end leaks out, Bauer Sharp, and he's going to be open. If Michael Van Buren is just able to get the ball there, releases late, he's open with the potential to get to the first down. He might get contacted by one of the Oklahoma defensive backs before he gets there. It's going to be challenged, but Frank Wilson's group falls 2 yards short of extending the game, and Oklahoma all but stamps their appearance in Brent Venables' first college football playoff as the head coach here in Norman.
First time for the school in the playoffs since 2019, 6 years since Jalen Hurts was at quarterback. And they did it in typical OU fashion. Low-scoring defensive battle. The defense doing a lot of the heavy lifting, limiting LSU to just 13 points. Able to survive 3 interceptions from John Mateer.
The Oklahoma defense came up big after one of the interceptions where LSU's inside the 5-yard line. They came up with an interception themselves. And despite the rocky day from John Mateer, when they needed him for a drive, he ended up finding Isaiah Satania getting the ball in the end zone.
They've got a 99% chance to make it to the college football playoff. 17-13 victors today against LSU for their second win in 5 tries against LSU. Let's go downstairs to Quint with Coach.
Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations. What emotions are you dealing with right now?
Hard to kill. And what a heck of a game. And nobody deserved to lose that. And LSU, man, they've really fought, man, big time. But, man, am I proud of our guys. We overcame a lot of mistakes, penalties, turnovers, just a lot of miscues today. But, hey, we're a pretty good football team and can overcome all of that.
How would you characterize the defense?
Yeah, I mean, just tenacious. You know, tenacious, absolutely tenacious. Stop after stop after stop. And they played conservative, but that don't matter. It's not about that. You know, it's about how our guys, our mindset, our attitude, our physicality, our relentless effort. It was fantastic, man. I got a lot of respect and admiration for our guys.
Coach, congratulations. You got your voice is all hoarse. Little chicken soup, perhaps, tonight for you, Coach. Congratulations.
Something like that. Chicken soup or something. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Defensive battle. Sooners win it. And as they say here in Oklahoma, Sooner born, Sooner bred, and when they die, they're Sooner dead. But they're very much alive and probably going to the playoff and probably host a game as well. College football scoreboard coming up next on ABC, followed by Alabama-Auburn. For Roddy Jones, Quinn Kesnick, and our entire crew behind the camera you don't get a chance to see, I'm Mark Jones. Sooners win it as we check back with the studio. So long from Norman.